Oh my, live from the Lofty Cutter Studios in sunny San Diego, California. On the air is, what's what I'm looking for? On the air, Bobby. Very good, fantastic. Good to have you on.
Sing it again.
Rusty Nails, Little Tommy, and I'm Sully, and boy, I'm really excited about the show today.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why I'm excited. Legendary.
Why?
Paul Rudy, Smalls Rudy. I love Paul.
Paul, yeah.
I love Paul. Paul is one of those guys that could carry this show by himself without any of us.
Right.
He's an icon.
He is an icon, and I love the guy.
Yes.
And of course, though, I've been waiting to hear from our band today. I'm going to go to the band first because these guys are legendary.
Yes.
In Southern California, maybe nationwide.
Yeah.
Maybe you've heard of them. They're called the PettyBreakers. Guys.
I'm thinking Tom Petty. Huh? 3, 4.
Come on.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I stand my ground. Won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground. And I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life. In a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I stand my ground. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
Come on. That is amazing, you guys. Great. So, introduce the band, Tommy. What do you got here?
All right.
That's fantastic. I know we've circled our universes for many, many years here. We never actually got to meet. It would be great to do a show together, but you guys are fantastic.
On lead vocals and playing that Fender Strat, Ozzy.
Oh, there's a rock and roll name.
Come on, Oz. He has another cover band called Crazy Train.
Back on the drums, a dude named Steve.
Dude named Steve.
Steve. All American
Fantastic.
name.
On bass, Danny.
Wow, Danny.
Better.
On guitar, also playing the Fender Strat, John. And I'm saving the keyboard player for last. I'm saving.
Sully's being obnoxious. Okay,
I'm
good.
saving the
Where's the crowd?
keyboard player for last, Sully,
All right.
because this is your life. He graduated the same high school you did in the same exact year. That's Dave back there on keyboard.
Dave.
Okay, what high school was that? There's a couple high schools for me.
Valhalla High School.
Wow. There you
Oh,
go.
the round
Yes,
one?
that's right. Valhalla High School, 1968.
Yeah,
He graduated
Wait a minute.
the same year.
I don't think it was there then, was it?
That's right. Well, welcome, guys. So glad to have you here. Now, before we get our guests, the other guests in, you guys get a chance to? Did you ever get a chance to meet Tom Petty or Ron Blair or Steve Ferrone or some of those guys along the way?
We got to meet Ron Blair several times. He actually played with us. He performed with us at a benefit that we did.
How
at the
great
Belly
is
Up.
that?
That was very cool. That was very cool. In fact, we do know for a fact, he told us that he showed video of him singing and playing with us to Tom and the boys at the clubhouse. And
Wow.
how they all patted him in the back.
That's awesome. That's great stuff.
So that was cool, but never got to meet Tom.
How did this thing all happen? How did this work out?
Interestingly, first of all, the love of the catalog. Tom Petty's got such a deep, deep catalog of great songs. But I was performing at the Belly Up one night, and there was a Tom Petty tribute that opened for us, but it was a three-piece with Marshall stacks turned up to 11, and I thought, wow, this isn't quite...
So just playing Tom Petty songs are not really a tribute band.
Right.
Okay.
So that's when I first got the idea, and I started reaching out to some people that I knew would be a great fit.
Right.
And,
When you're
thank
doing
goodness-
concerts, do they shout out, "Yeah, play some Doors" or something? Or do they ask you to play other songs?
Once
or do
in
you?
a great while, we get a really, really, really
Who's the
drunk
overlap
character.
Usually
artist?
Brown Eyed Girl.
Yeah.
Right, on somebody's birthday.
It's usually Freebird, I hate to say.
Oh, no kidding with the lighters, yeah.
That's good. So you guys are very popular. Are you playing all over the country
We are.
now? So you guys sort of have a tour that goes on. What's
do.
the rest of the year look like for you guys?
Well, let's see. In September, we're going to be in Chicago area. Also in October, we're going to be in Chicago, the Northeast in also October in Portland, Maine, and Salisbury, Massachusetts.
So how do people find? I'm assuming PettyBreakers.com and
That's
such.
it.
And then what about social media and digital media?
Facebook.com/PettyBreakers.
Russ has a new channel, a social media channel. It's called UTwitface.com.
Yeah, it's all of them. YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. All
Well, you
of
guys
them.
We're going to be on that in a minute.
I think so, yeah.
Let me get my phone out.
We want you here for the rest of the day, guys. Welcome.
Yes.
And,
Thank you very
I
much.
Want,
Thank
more
you.
importantly, question.
Yeah.
What the hell are you wearing? Honestly,
Sully.
No, I'm just saying here because
You know who I am?
I do know who you are.
Well, last week I was in a bathrobe because that's how I always listen to
Dave Schilling Chainsaw.
DSC, yeah. And
week before
or
last.
whatever. But this week I thought, you know what? We're gonna have some sports guys on.
Yes.
And I better dress like a golfer.
bad golfer.
I mean, we had Xander,
My
what's
dad.
his name, Shoffley or whatever, that won the gold medal, and
I thought-
he's a golfer.
I thought it was because this was your costume because you are dressed like a vice principal. I thought
Yes.
this was your costume for Scuba the movie that we have raised so much money for.
That's possible. In fact, I'm shooting today, and if you don't hurry the show up, I'm gonna just get out of here.
Hey,
get the guest.
Wait. One last thing here I want to talk about. Big thank you to the city of Coronado and the city of Solana Beach for having us out for their summer concert series. I don't know if Jared's got some of the footage, but man, there's about 5,000 people out there in Coronado. And does that not spell pent-up demand? I know you guys have felt it too, right? You get out there and all of a sudden there's more people in these things.
Yeah.
So it's been really great having play out there. But a big thanks. I told these guys, I'd say thank you to the cities of Coronado and Solana Beach and get started there, buddy. Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, wait, a big thank you to Monarch for letting me play every Sunday from 3 till sunset. That's another one on there, Del Mar. Big crowds coming out, drinking, eating, and watching this show because this guy's going to be on. That's why I got the shades on, too, by the way.
All right, let's bring on the guests.
Come on. This man.
I have the best memories ever. Jack Murphy Stadium,
What?
early 90s.
Hold on.
Cheering for our San Diego Chargers. There's Junior Seau, there's Gary Plummer, and at defensive end, originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, drafted in the first round of the 1989 draft, current co-host of KUSI's Prep Pigskin Report, good old number 92, Burt Grossman.
Big Bird. Huh?
There he is.
We're wearing glasses.
My bad.
How are you, man?
There they are.
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
There it is.
I heard that intro. I thought it was Leslie O'Neal was here. I guess I'm out.
You know what?
You got bumped.
I got bumped.
First question. First of all, I just want to thank you because I grew up as a San Diego Charger fan. I grew up going to the stadium. Then it was called, Jack Murphy Stadium. And I grew up supporting you guys and just cheering you guys
Hold
on.
You make it sound like I'm 70. You
No,
grew
no,
up. And as a young man, I threw you my jersey.
Well, I grew up.
4-year-old.
That Pepsi
But I
commercial,
mean
you
it.
got a beard.
But I mean it because that stadium isn't there anymore. And I just want to thank you for being part of those teams. It was great.
Bert, I got a question for you before Tommy asks you how much money you make in retirement.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna. You've
That's
seen the
all right,
show.
yeah.
He's never had a guest. He hasn't talked about money. When you got into the league, what was considered a big contract then? Because now it's getting ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I think the left side of the Padres infield is about $500 million. But I'm talking, what was considered a big contract back then?
Well, I was the 8th pick, and my first year salary was $250,000.
That was a huge amount of dough.
Yeah, and I think the highest paid player my rookie year on the team was Billy Ray Smith, and he was making like $440.
When and that was the equivalent of probably a $2-3 million contract back then.
Yeah, because like Elway, Marino, those guys were just making $1 million, $1.5 million.
Yeah, right.
You know, Warren
that was
Moon.
big money.
Yeah, it was big money. So I would say the highest paid player, in that era was probably like an Elway and Marino, and that's $1.5 million-ish.
And the other thing too, I've always wanted to know in a locker room like that, because you got guys that are making league minimums, you got guys that are getting paid decent money, you got guys that are getting big money.
Yeah.
You guys are all teammates. Is there any weirdness there when the guy pulls out in a Chevy Vega and the other guy's got a Lamborghini? Because that does happen,
Or
right?
being dropped off.
Yeah. You know what? At that time, there was no free agency, so everybody didn't have the opportunity to get paid a lot. So I can't believe we're wearing sunglasses.
Take your sunglasses off.
Are you ready?
I like them on.
I did.
I'm just saying, we look like we're in a
Hollywood.
band together. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't, the people that had it then, you were stuck there, so you kind of earned it, and people knew who made money. I mean, it was really stats-based because there was no free agency. It wasn't need-based where you could go to another team and you didn't have that great of stats, but you get a lot of money because they needed that position. So that wasn't available, so everybody in the team kind of knew.
I always wondered, like, when Fernando Tatis Jr. walks in, right? And there's a guy worth $250 million, right, in endorsements. And that's just if he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then you got the kid who's just got pulled up from AAA,
Right.
who's I think I don't know what league minimum is now.
Who hits a grand slam.
I always just wondered what the dynamic was, because you're supposed to be teammates, equals on the field, and all for one purpose. But I was always, because money makes people weird.
The dynamics is more, I don't think anybody minds Tatis. I think it's more Hosmer. Because he's making that kind of
riding the bench, and nobody will take him.
Yeah, nobody will take you. You can't trade him. He's hitting 200. I think it's more that when you don't earn your money in those locker rooms, that becomes an issue.
Who was that? Who was that on your team when
Me.
you were playing? Was it you? Yes. You were the one.
It was.
The hell am I doing here?
Burt Grossman was the Hosmer of
I was Eric Hosmer first.
One more question before we bring in the next guest. Your rookie season, 1989, when you get drafted, did they do a practical joke with you? Do they always do a practical joke with the rookie?
You know what they do? They always had the thing in camp when you go there, and they would have camp day where the guy would have to get up and sing his alma mater or whatever. But I actually held out the whole camp. I didn't sign till.
Yeah, but you're also 6'20".
Yeah.
And about 400 pounds at the time.
But
so
the
nobody's
numbers,
gonna
they
mess
gang
with
up
you.
on you. We had Jim McMahon there who was brutal as far as hazing rookies.
wow, that's
but
cool,
so he would brutalize the rookies that year. But I really didn't sign till camp broke, and it was like 3 days before the opener against the Raiders, which was a story in itself, and I almost quit at halftime.
What?
Because I came from Pittsburgh, and, I was a rookie, and... there's Bo Jackson, there's Marcus Allen. I'm like, what is this? And it was smog. I'd never dealt with smog before. And
How old were you? How old were you?
21, 22. And I came from Pittsburgh. So no camp, so no conditioning. Smog, which I didn't even know what it was till I got there. We didn't have that in Pittsburgh. And I almost had like a heart attack the first series.
So wait a minute, let's go back to that, because there he is, Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen.
I only saw him from a distance. He was
But did you ever tackle him?
Not head on, no, but probably from the side.
But speaking of head on, okay, your defensive end. Did you ever have a full shot at a quarterback? Like, did you ever? There's Dan Marino. You're ready to tackle
What's
him.
the trophy room look like for big quarterbacks? Big game hunting.
Like, do you ever hold back?
No, we didn't. And, it wasn't like now. We didn't have, you could take 5 steps and hit a quarterback back then. But, it's funny, out of my 45 sacks I was thinking about, I had none against Elway. And we played them twice a year, and he was my favorite player. The only time I got 2 sacks in one game against Denver, but it was Kubiak because they'd already secured the first round bye, and he was playing the last game. But no, never sacked Elway, never sacked Marino either.
Did you accidentally ever tackle someone, like just turn around like, oh help, there he is, and then you just fall over?
Yeah, they run into you and they just go like that. Yeah, or they trip over you. And you get up and
go, woo!
Junior Seau fist pump. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's do it again.
More sports.
The next guest. It's my opinion, you can judge a news anchor by the many years he's been at one television station. Paul Rudy has been at KUSI for 24 years. He's Mr. Sports. He's Mr. News. He's the anchor of Good Morning San Diego. and the co-host of KUSI's Prep Pigskin Report, which starts Friday, August 20th. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Rudy.
Rudy!
Hey, it's good to be back.
You're awesome.
You look
I have to
sharp.
tell you are one of the hardest working guys. I remember when you took over for Good Morning San Diego.
Oh, my God.
You didn't just take it as, hey, I'm going to sit at this desk and start doing what they tell me. You went to work, man. I mean, I remember my first interview with you. Man, you were asking me questions that nobody's asking me. They usually just pull the string and let me go. You were like asking me stuff I had to actually be on. I mean, you really did a lot of research at the beginning.
I like to be prepared.
You are. Just real quickly, because it's top of mind. Did we just have the worst trade weekend in the history of the San Diego Padres? Did we just drop the ball, smear it in the carpet and step in it and the whole thing? I mean, didn't we have an opportunity to get a starting pitcher here at some point?
Well, I think a lot of it wasn't the Padres' fault. It was, there was a report. A very prominent baseball writer said, hey, the Padres are about to sign Max Scherzer.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the
Famer.
day, Max Scherzer controlled all the cards because he had the right to,
Right.
waive his. So if he didn't want to come to San Diego, it really didn't matter what San Diego was
Well, what about
offering.
anybody else, any other starting pitcher? And,
Well,
and putting Hosmer somewhere.
There we go. Back to
Well,
Hosmer.
yeah, I know. But I mean, really, if you look at the lineup, what they needed was a pitcher and maybe another bat. I know they wanted to get the Gallo guy that went to the Yankees, but
But don't they need a pitcher because the other ones didn't pan out? Their other
Yeah.
Well,
great
okay,
pitchers?
so-
maybe they had a little buyers.
Yeah.
maybe.
beware.
Yeah, but who knows? It's what we have. We're heading into the stretch run. I still think the Padres have a pretty good lineup.
Yeah.
And if I were a playoff team, I would not want to draw San Diego. And if I were the Dodgers, I wouldn't want to have to play San Diego in a one-game
San Diego,
playoff.
San Diego's the face of baseball right now.
Wait.
And you look at the Cronenworth. Well, that guy was just a throw-in
Man.
on a trade. I know it was Tommy Pham.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it came with, but he was
So-
a throw-in. Turns out to be this guy's the real deal.
I think there's a lot of reasons to be really excited about the San Diego Padres, and starting with that all-star infield.
Well, they say that the starting pitcher, the sheriff, is the mall cop. Not quite living up
Yeah,
to
he-
the sheriff level.
And there's
I don't even know if he's a mall cop. He's a crossing guard.
Well, I know a lot of athletes who had the potential to be great
Yeah.
and be one thing or another. It just didn't, they were really good.
Why are you looking at me?
Wait. Hey, let's take a quick break. But after the break, we need to talk about the Prep Pigskin Report, which starts Friday.
PPR, is that to me?
We're 6 days
Heard
out,
of it.
right?
Heard of it.
Yes.
6 days out?
It's gonna
6 days out.
PR.
We got Paul Rudy. We got Burt Grossman. We've got another show on the air, and we're going to take it away here in a second from the PettyBreakers.
Yeah.
Guys.
Hey, I know this song.
It was a beautiful day. The sun beat down. I had the radio on. I was driving. Trees went by. Me and Dale were singing. Little runaway. I was flying. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Rain was unstoppable, it was always cold, no sunshine. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream.
Those guys sound just like
Bruce
the
Springsteen.
PettyBreakers. Exactly.
PettyBreakers.
Fantastic.
And
PettyBreakers
I
here.
can't go on with the show unless I say, is that you, Spicoli?
Oh my God.
Huh? Dude, all I need is some gnarly waves, some tasty buds, and the ball right there. Mr. Hand, that's so cool.
One more time, a big hand for the PettyBreakers.
PettyBreakers.
Where are you
All
guys-
right.
Hey, by the way, where are you guys next? What's the next gig?
We're doing the 50th anniversary celebration for Tierra Santa on September 18th, I think.
What's scary is I
locally.
remember when Tierra Santa came in as a new community, and so did both of you.
Yeah.
It was something else. All right, here
All right.
we go. So we got Burt Grossman from San Diego Chargers.
And Paul Rudy.
from,
What season is
KUSI.
this?
Well, it depends. What do we count the spring session?
COVID season?
Yeah, you count that. Dodgers
we
did.
we counted a season, so I think this would be season 23.
And
Season 23.
yeah,
We're closing in on almost 500 hours of high school football.
Do you know what you did, though? Before social media existed, before the iPhone. By the way, the iPhone, do you realize the iPhone was not in our lexicon until 2007? It didn't seem like it's been a long time.
Still not mine. I
You
gotta
deployed viral technology and you said to yourself, I'm going to cover high school kids. And if I cover high school kids, what comes with high school kids?
Parents.
High school parents.
Family.
And every parent
Zits.
watches. And then, of course, every high school. It was a brilliant move. And not only is it great programming and people want to know about it, it really was a brilliant move, Paul.
I don't think it was a conscious, brilliant move. It was just one of those things where it was a fun thing to do.
I'd sell it, man.
And you're right. Now we have third generation. We have kids who have kids. We have kids that we covered on the PPR who now have kids playing on the PPR.
That's amazing.
You've got retired NFL players that were featured as high school players.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we do. So and it's it's been I'll tell you what, the fact that no one else is, some people have tried to jump in, but it's not. I guess there's better returns on your dollar as far as TV stations go. KUSI is of a different mindset that, as long as it covers its bills and it has a community function, and I think.
Well, this is a huge community.
Yeah.
Well,
and other TV stations aren't willing to do that. They have to have a certain. What's the word you use?
Bottom line?
RIO? Is that
ROI.
ROI. You have to have a certain.
RIO is a place in Brazil where Russ is living.
Wait a minute.
With a satellite
Okay, you have to have a certain ROI, and I think the show has eventually gotten to that, but it's not going to be immediate.
But it's iconic, and it's got such a great brand story.
You have to see the amount of work he does, and it's almost overwhelming of things every single day with the emails, the interview setups, the charts, and I prepare probably more than you.
Yeah.
Well, you've been preparing for August 20th since
July
June.
1. Yeah. July 1 is when I took all of June off, and then I start July 1.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Me too.
It's intense.
Burt got his broadcast.
Burt just got up.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But Burt, what you guys don't know is Burt was a high school football coach at Hoover High.
Yeah.
And Burt came on the air one night. We had him on as a celebrity guest. And you insulted somebody. And Poway High School. And right then I knew this is going to be a magical guest. And so we started having on more and more. And now, for the first time in 23 years, Burt's going to stay up late and ride through the night and be the foil to
Bob Seger.
I'm prepared, he's unprepared, and together it rains.
But you have to realize, I'm like Tony Gwynn. I'm a natural hitter. He's like an Astros hitter. He needs the signs.
I need to hear something.
He needs to see everything. What is it going to be? And he still hits it only half the time. I'm a natural hitter.
Hey, is it true you brought the Midwest religion of football, high school football, to San Diego?
I don't, I think.
Yes, I'm going with a hard yes.
Maybe.
Go yes.
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's more, people, where the show started was in Florida. I was working in Florida, and there were all these stud athletes, but they had no linemen. And so then I went to Kansas City. They had a bunch of linemen, but they had no stud athletes. And so we came to California, and San Diego is just the perfect test tube because it's just big enough that you can get to all the games, and it's just. It's in the elite category of athletes because of the coaching we have here, because of the schools we have here, because of the commitment we have here.
But it's not like Texas where it's a religion.
I don't know.
Brought that.
We have our own little Friday Night Lights here going on.
Yeah, I would say I'll say this to anybody who's watching on TV. I'll buy you a steak dinner if you can find another TV program in the country, another TV station in the country that turns highlights from 30-plus games on a Friday night. I know a lot of stations in Texas do it, but they do it on Saturday morning. That doesn't count.
So how is the sausage made? I mean, how many do you literally
How many cameras are out there?
Yeah, really. I mean, you go from
a bunch of kids.
They're like, you have 4 crews, and you go from here to here.
Things have evolved, obviously, because of the pandemic. But at the height of its powers, we were sending out 25 to 28 two-man crews to cover games, and some of those crews had to cover more than one game. Our best night, we had 45 games turn in a 60-minute show with 7 pre-produced features, and we didn't run over.
And it's as easy as this, just filming.
Yeah.
Plus, you look like you're at a golf tournament shooting Tiger Woods at the last hole of the U.S. Open. I just kind of stopped down for that. Are you wearing this on Scuba
Tiger
the
Woods,
tonight?
his putting is good,
is this your costume for Scuba the Movie? I've never seen you in a golf shirt.
His driving isn't so good. Sorry, that was my Tiger Woods joke. No, I just wore this because I have to go to a country club later, and this is my country club uniform.
Oh, I see.
Walk in. You can't walk in what I usually wear, like a bathrobe and a hat.
Are you golfing or are you meeting?
No, he's acting.
No, he's boozing.
I hate golf.
Oh,
He's acting.
The bar. I got you.
Yeah, I got all.
Give us what's your best line?
As the vice principal, I got a lot of tension in this room. A lot of loyalties. All
you
need
do
is a
look like a
story.
You do. You look like the guy from the
Not the story. I don't get my daily protein.
he's going.
Yeah, so that's.
You look like the guy
He's a
from the
method
Tech
actor.
commercial.
Yeah, oh.
By the way, what we're talking about is Mayor Steve Voss, mayor of Poway,
Son
has a
Jacob?
son named Jacob who is
Judge.
in film school, judge in Chapman University. And he has actually put together a full feature movie, and a big full crew. And Russ somehow, so on our national show, Big Biz Show, if you've got a lawyer on the air with us, somehow Russ will ask a question for a friend about a divorce, or if there's a dentist on the air, he'll say, "Hey, so
Helix High School needs coverage because being an alma mater, maybe
How
I
did
could.
you score a talking part and I didn't even get?
because he cheesed out on a guest. A guest was here and he sleazed him right when he was on.
Let's
the air.
go to music and come back and talk more about me when we get back. It's on the air with Rusty Nails and some other people.
More from the PettyBreakers. Let's do this. Come on.
PettyBreakers, rock.
Burt Grossman from the San Diego Chargers. Paul Rudy, PPR, KUSI, Good Morning San Diego, an all-around great guy.
And a big
And
rock
then there's
star.
us.
That's right.
Big rock star still to come.
She grew up in Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around. But she grew up tall and she grew up to ride with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night. She moved down here, age 18. She blew the boys away, was more than they'd seen. I was introduced, then we both started grooving. She said, I dig you, baby, but you gotta keep moving on. Keep moving on. Last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill her, babe. I feel summer creeping in and I'm tired of this town again.
Wow. On the air is on the air. The PettyBreakers.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, well, how fun is that?
You guys sound just like what's
Bruce
that name?
Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
Hey, wait a minute. Speaking of music, we have a treat coming up in a few minutes. This guy is a legend in the San Diego music scene from the Beat Farmers. Jerry Raney will be right here, seated right
That's
there.
right. He's being honored this year with a Lifetime Achievement Award with the San Diego Music Awards.
Yes, August 24th.
So that's fantastic.
That's Jerry.
Big fans of the San Diego Music Awards.
All right.
Have you heard of them? Because
Oh, here we go.
we like San Diego Music Awards quite a bit here on the show. Because are you looking?
Wait,
Are you
well,
looking?
you say
Okay, fine.
Jerry
Radio Hall of
Raney,
Famer.
one
All
day
right,
Jerry
fine.
Raney might
Let's
be
just
in the
pull it
Hall of
out right
Fame.
now. Let's get them all going here. Let's line them up like
Hardware.
chorus girls.
Thank you.
Right here.
Thank you very much.
Very cool.
All right.
Where's ours?
Question
Where's
for Mr.
Bert's
Grossman.
certificate of achievement?
Yeah.
Mr. Grossman,
Participation trophy?
I think the last PPR season, I saw you walking down the field with your son. What's it like having your son play football?
It's different. You know, that was probably the hard part because that was his senior year, so I didn't get to go to all his games. But fortunately, it was, or unfortunately, it was a shortened season with COVID. So with the timing, I got to see a couple and then leave at halftime. Paul wasn't real supportive of me.
Now, say what I really said.
He said, if you don't want to be replaced by
If you got
Darren
it, go ahead
Carrington,
and
you
go.
better be here.
I said that I will.
Want to be replaced by Darren Carrington, you better be here.
I wanted you to be there with your son every moment.
Wait, is your son playing college ball now? Is he?
He's actually at a prep school because, the shortened season.
Yeah, right.
And we enrolled him early, so he was still young. So he's doing his 5th year in a prep school in Florida, which is kind of like a JC here, pretty much, but they don't have JC.
Would you support him if he wanted to play college football and NFL football and stuff after your career and your experience?
Yeah, you know what? I had a couple things. I got hurt my 6th year with my neck, so at the time it seemed like devastating because in the 90s you were going to get neck surgery and come back as a defensive lineman. But in hindsight, it was a blessing with the CT and everything else that I didn't go on 3 or 4 more years at that time. So, yeah, I support it. I think it's still a choice at that point.
What's so technology-wise? Like, just funny. We on one of our other shows we had a company called Visus. want to come on there with us. It's a football helmet company,
I know,
and it's all about technology, concussion technology. You know, and then there's
An interesting fact is one of my friends from Pitt that I played with, and he's in New Jersey now. He's one of the original starters of that.
that's a real. And what's interesting.
That's the custom helmet, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, what's
$1,500?
interesting about it is it has the same technology as the bumper technology on a car.
yeah,
It's
right.
supposed to absorb before it even gets to your head.
I remember my first Pop Warner helmet. It just kind of slid around.
Oh yeah.
Get out there.
Hey, the helmet technology is incredible.
Speaking of high school football, how was it with you in high school? I'm assuming you were like a standout. How was it? Was it fun? Were you like?
How many D1 offers did you have? How many?
Over 100 and some probably.
Think about that.
Wow.
It was, I mean, but we had, I was fortunate.
And he was a wide receiver.
Wait.
Yeah.
When you get all those offers, does that mean just like in Blindside, are they all coming to your house and courting you?
Oh God, yeah. I had coaches that would fight in the hallways of school to see who would get to see me first. I had one guy from Georgia come up in a snowstorm and he on my front yard.
Okay, there's
in the
another-
snow, go dogs. And I'm like, why would I come to the school?
And all the other dogs did. Just
Yeah. But you know what the hard part was though? It wasn't like, so when I was coming out, I would just watch TV and see like West Virginia. And I'm like, oh, West Virginia, Hostetler, they were great that year. The stadium was packed. I commit to West Virginia verbally. Then you have to go on your visit. And you see Morgantown. And all of a sudden you're like trying to get out of there and you're like, can I get a connecting flight? I mean, it was horrible. And I did the same thing when I went to Georgia. I thought Georgia was great. Herschel Walker just come out there, won the national championship. I went to Athens, Georgia, and I think the Civil War was still going on. Pretty much. So
Did you get any West Coast? Did you go to USC or anything?
no, I was supposed to go to UCLA, but I didn't end up going. I probably would have went there if I went, because that's the most beautiful campus I've
right.
ever seen. So yeah, we didn't have the luxury of going on the internet or looking at campus tours. You had to pick 5, and that was all you got. And unfortunately, without the internet and guidance, you pick what you see on TV or what brand you like.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Ohio State, and Pitt was really good at that time. Pitt.
And it's home.
Yeah, and it's home, and it wasn't Temple was home, but I wasn't going to go to Temple. So Pitt was close enough, but far enough. But yeah, that was the beginning and the end for Pitt. I didn't see that coming.
Bert, so further to that, you know, the NFL draft has become not only a national holiday. You know, there's a great, you know, everybody saw Draft Day, a great movie, which actually brought the entire world into what it's like. How is it different for you? Were you with your family by the phone watching television? It's so different, right?
I can't even tell you.
You guys were at a Coco's or something?
Go on, tell the story.
My draft was like one of the most iconic first rounds ever. You know, I could just go off and name everybody and you knew who they were. But it was so different then. I was at home and, you know, of course you go out the night before you get drunk and you got a hangover. I get a call, you know, on the rotary phone. I pick it up and it was Mike Ditka. And he's like, oh, we're going to try to trade for you. And I'll let you know how it goes. And I hang up the phone. Then Ray Perkins called at Tampa and he's like, you failed the drug test at the combine. We're not going to pick you now. And he hangs up the phone. I'm like, all right. I don't get any more calls. So I'm downstairs in my dad's den or whatever. You know, cigarette burns on all the furniture. Watching it on that, you know, that wooden console one that looks like a sideboard, but it's got a TV in it.
Like a coffin.
And the Chargers were so screwed up, they never even called me. Like they didn't call me before say you're going. There was Chargers come up for the thing, and they're like, they select Burt Grossman. Never called me.
Didn't tell you?
Newspaper, you know, like Clark Judge and T.J. Simons and those people start calling me. I still don't hear from the Chargers for like 3 hours. I'm like,
sounds about right.
This place is great. But it was way different. We didn't really get invited there, and it was in New York, and I was in Philadelphia. But they invited like Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, you know, Derek Thomas, those people. But they really didn't.
You would have been in the green room. You were the 8th pick. You would have been.
Yeah.
And Paul, you're no slouch of sports. You were a tennis star.
Yeah, I was a big tennis, but I wasn't invited to New York or in the green room.
I wasn't either. Didn't you hear the story?
Yeah, but you would have been.
You weren't allowed
in 2021. You would have been the guy to come out to hug the commissioner, get the hat on, the big picture.
Sweet suits on, purple suits.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, much more to come.
Yes.
We have to talk about I think we need to revisit your start in television and media and stuff. It's a great story and how you went from there. This arc of this story.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I don't even know the story.
No, it's so good. And the PettyBreakers are here with us. On the air. Thanks for joining us.
Well, she was standing by the highway
you guys live again. And you guys, I know you guys play all over Southern California. Once again, PettyBreakers.com. Is that accurate? Is that PettyBreakers.com? Okay. Fantastic.
Why do you
to
have
you
a
guys
guitar
in.
right now?
Oh, because
He can't help himself.
sometimes I just get the urge.
It's like seeing the grown adults with baseball mitts out
Yeah, I
at the
know.
game, at the Padres game. The professionals are
Russ
there,
is
you're just
gonna
waiting
catch
for the
the ball.
foul ball.
He's up at the Compass Premier Lounge with the ball.
Yeah.
With a,
I'm just gonna play my G string for a while.
there you go.
Another edit.
Well, he's got his guitar on because we're going to have the inimitable Jerry Raney come out here in just a few minutes and bless us with a little bit of time because we're doing a tribute to him at the San Diego Music Awards this year. So it'll be fantastic.
Paul Rudy.
Yes, sir.
24 years on KUSI.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Where did it all start for you on television?
It started in my hometown of Madison, Wisconsin, WKOW, the
Bring you
ABC
back
affiliate.
to a gentler time.
Frank Lloyd Wright was living right down the street.
Tell us a story.
Well, I was working as a tennis instructor, and my father pulled me aside and he said, "Son, you have to get a job where you wear long pants to work," because I was a tennis instructor. So I happened to, my very next lesson was a guy by the name of Paul Pittis. He worked at WKOW, and I was giving him lessons, and I was telling him, "Hey, my old man's on me. I got to get a job where I wear long pants to work." And he said, "Well, do you have any interest in videography?" And for it just came out of my mouth. Are you kidding me? It's my passion. So he goes,
Total BS.
anyhow, so he said, "Well, I'll set you up with our chief photographer, and we'll give you an interview. If you can get through that, we'll hire you." So I went to the competing station, and I got a tutorial on how to hook a camera up. Some of the catchphrases, like
Zoom, push,
the focus rate, the lens rate.
Crossing.
And I learned all the jargon, and I paid the guy $100, which back then it was a lot of money. And he took me up until 2 in the morning practicing, hooking stuff up. I had the interview at 10 in the morning, 8 hours later.
You memorized all the stuff.
Memorized it, faked it completely.
Yeah.
They put me on gave me a job as a news photographer.
No kidding.
So my first assignment, breaking news. They don't have anyone else. I was still in my training period. Barn fire in Barneville. In Wisconsin, barn fires are a big deal. I raced out there. It was a cold December night, and I got there, and they said, "Rudy, you don't have time to edit this. Edit in the camera," which means we're going to put your tape in raw.
Oh, no.
So I did everything right. Wide shot of the blaze, tight shot of the carcass on the ground. 3 cattle lost. Tight shot of the morning, the farmer's daughter in mourning. Another tight shot of the farmer's daughter. Got it all done. All right, this is Squad 18. I'll be back in 15 minutes. The show's starting in 16 minutes. It's just like that scene.
Like that movie in Broadcast News with Holly Hunter.
Racing in. They go, and we're going to go to the 3-alarm fire in Barneville, and they throw it in. And they take it, and here's the fire. Everything is blue.
Oh, man.
Because I forgot to white balance.
Oh, awesome.
And so the next day they pulled me in and they demoted me to sports.
Yeah.
And
look what happened.
35 years later, I'm still here.
All right, tell us about Good Morning San Diego and your co-anchors.
Well, I work with some of the most talented people in the business. I work with the Woman of the Year, for Pete's sake, and Lauren Finney, who is incomparable as far as her presentation, and she has the most difficult job in TV because she has to not only do her job, but she has to watch out for me and Mark.
Yeah, there's the other side of the
Mark
spectrum.
Mathis, who's, just, borderline this side of sane.
Yeah, I know well. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So what she does is incomparable because she runs a show and also monitors 2 people who are, a little helter-skelter.
It's got to be difficult, too. I mean, we have to do it all the time. It's interviewing people, every single day from all walks.
Yeah, and,
So who's your favorite?
Oh, Sully, I mean...
If you had to kick one member off the team, who would it be? Bert's gone.
Yeah, well, perfect. Yeah, that's
All right. Hey, I want you guys to meet this next guest.
Okay, great.
This is a treat for all of us. He's an icon in the San Diego music scene. He's an original member of the Beat Farmers, starting here in San Diego in 1983. On August 24th, on my birthday, at the San Diego Music Awards, he'll be honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerry Raney.
There he is.
I was walking down the street on a sunny day. Holla, 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 holla. Feeling in my bones that I had to say. Holla, 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 holla. I'm a happy boy.
Happy boy.
A happy boy.
Happy boy.
Ain't that good one thing? Hey,
Jerry Raney.
Mr. Raney, how you doing, sir?
Great to have you in the studio.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Always. Huh?
Yeah.
The rock star. It's early for you here shooting.
It is early. I had to get up.
Yeah. Get
Usually don't get up till 12 or something like that, you know.
Jam business.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations on the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah,
Thanks.
fantastic.
Bravo.
How's that feel?
I don't think they could find anybody else to give it to this year, so
So you got it by default.
that's me.
You know, it's I see
Well,
a
feels
couple
good.
places, a couple gigs around town. Jack Butler, you guys jam. So good to see you two and watch you two listen. But you told me a story about one time you were mistaken for a very famous individual. Who mistook you and who mistaken for? Yeah.
Well, that was at one of the street scenes, and
Remember those? That was so much
Yeah,
fun.
they were
Rob
great,
Hagee
you know.
and the street scene, man.
Yeah.
so Eric Burden from the Animals, lead singer, you know, he was there, and he was playing one of the sets someplace, and I was just standing there, and all of a sudden, him and another guy come running up, and he runs up and grabs me, you know, and goes, "Man, dude, it's so good, it's so great to see you," you know, and I'd never met him before, you know, and so great to see you again, and all this kind of stuff, and he's giving me a big hug, and he's just, and pretty soon I think he was pretty, you know. Then he ran off, and it was the other guy with him was his roadie. He came in and said, "He thought you were Bob Dylan."
I was going to say.
I was going, I love Eric Burden. I'll take it. I'll kill him, you know.
Governor the headlock with Filner, yeah. So you've been playing. I played a little song, one of my favorites from the Beat Farmers, "Happy Boy," and you know that whole startup. But how was that back then? The Beat Farmers and that.
How'd the whole thing start?
Well, it was cool. I mean, it started with, you know, I had my band back then was Jerry Raney and the Shanes, and we were just playing around town like everybody else. There was a whole little kind of new wave scene going on, you know.
Yeah, right.
The Penetrators were probably the biggest band in town.
Sure. Right.
And I have two of those guys in my band now in the Farmers.
That's right.
There's more Penetrators in the Farmers than there are Beat Farmers.
That's true in life, too.
Don't make us edit again.
And, anyway, Country Dick was the drummer, in you know, Dan McLean's his real name, and he was the drummer in the Penetrators, and he had been stepping out and doing this other band called Country Dick and the Snuggle Bunnies, which is kind of the predecessor to the Beat Farmers. He had a bunch of great guys in that band and everything, and but they were breaking up, and I went to the last show, and Dick was up there on a table, standing on a table as usual, you know, singing, "You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille," you know, and at the very end of it, he going, "You picked a fine time to leave me, bunnies. Don't leave me, bunnies." And he just face plants off this table all the way down on the floor, and there's like, and the microphone lands and just makes this big old noise, and he's laying there sobbing with his beer, you know, "Don't leave me, buddies." And, so after that was over, you know, I went up to him, and I just recently broken my band up, you know, and then I talked to him about, well, I think, you know, a bunch of people from San Diego are getting signed by MCA Records, and I think you have a better chance with your thing you're doing of making it big than they do, and you know, not to put any of them down, but I thought that, you know, Dick had something going, you know, and
Well, it turns out you were right.
yeah, well,
Got you on Letterman and a few other cool shots.
He ended up calling me, you know, like 2 weeks later and going, you know, "Hey, Raney, want to start a musical mobile pleasure unit?" And I said, I guess so. It was a very humble beginning, really, you know. It's like, you know, it was just him and me at first, and he took me to see Buddy Blue playing in the Rockin' Roulettes, and then, you know, he's going, "What do you think about this guy?" And I'm going, "Well, you know, I'd seen them before, but I thought they were doing covers of some old 50s type songs and stuff, and then I realized that Buddy was writing these things. They were so true to form. I was going, heck yeah, I like this guy."
Jerry Raney.
Jerry Raney.
Stay there. Burt Grossman, Paul Rudy, Jerry Raney, the PettyBreakers. More on the air, coming up.
You better watch what you do to me. Don't get carried away. Girl, if you can do better than me, go. Yeah, go. Remember, good love is hard to find. Good love is hard to find. You got lucky, babe.
like Bruce Springsteen. It's so fantastic. And look who joined us here. I can't believe it, but we got
Tiffany's like on the patch every
Mark
other
Mathis
week.
back.
You know?
You realize in this studio that monitor is now called the Mathis monitor?
Absolutely.
And regardless what show we're producing here, what do we got on the Mathis monitor?
Boy, I tell you what, who's on the switcher tonight? Is it Jennifer? What's the score? Come here for a second. 17-10. What's the score? 17-10. Hurry, come over here, tell everybody, so in case they don't want to flip over. Look what this idiot has on.
We're going our first game tonight. Best defense in the league.
Get out.
How great is it to work with Mark Mathis every day? Because I get to work with him every afternoon.
Hey.
Yeah. No, man, the guys that got what's it called?
Nuts.
Yeah. He's certifiable. He's certifiable, but he has an energy level that is hard to match.
If you go on YouTube and look up Mark Mathis, that's a 45-minute time suck. There's so much great stuff out there.
People don't realize his bit here in San Diego is so watered down.
Oh, of course.
Compared to when he was coming up the ranks. And
mine too.
And
here's what it looks like.
Perfect.
Scary.
Same magic.
Wait a minute.
He's great.
Mr. Raney, so on August 24th at San Diego Music Awards, Humphreys Concerts, when they give you your Lifetime Achievement Award, do you know what you're going to say? Have you thought about it?
Who of us will you thank?
I have no idea. I was going to maybe liken myself to the kid in that Twisted Sister video, where the dad's all mad at him and saying, "What are you going to do with your life?" And the kid goes, "I'm going to rock."
Yeah, right.
And it's like, that's what I did. So.
Did you ever think of doing anything else, like a sports caster, football player, or anything
Bert
like
thought
that?
of playing football once, then.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, I caught a pass at Elkhorn High School and got killed. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts.
it hurts. What's your time limit?
Oh, I don't. They haven't really told me. They're not full of information this year for some reason.
I have a question. So where can people hear you playing nowadays? Because I catch you on YouTube here and there, and I go, why we should have been there. Where are you playing around here in town?
The Farmers are playing.
Yeah, I know.
Every once in a while we do a Beat Farmer reunion, which we're going to do one of those with the Farmers and Joey Harris and everybody.
Oh, great.
And special guests at the Belly Up Tavern.
That'd be great.
And that'll be in January. I think it's the 14th or 15th.
Right.
They haven't really picked the date because we always have to.
So you're not
jiggle
stopping
around with
anytime
those.
soon, hopefully.
The what?
You're not stopping anytime soon, hopefully.
No, I'll just go until I fall over.
Do you still practice at all, or do you just
Yeah, I force myself to practice.
just
'cause,
keep the muscles working?
What is that,
Well-
scales? Or I mean,
Well, every once in a while I play some scales, but I'm not really into it.
Right here, doesn't it?
It does.
Three of them?
I really don't like to practice.
One really good player.
Yeah, Country Dick and the Farmer's Daughter.
But I think I'm going to practice a few days because on Sunday the Farmers are going up to Newport Beach and we're playing with Albert Lee.
Oh, wow.
Who's pretty
yeah.
renowned as one of the best guitar players
Yeah,
in the world.
absolutely. Yeah.
But I'll pick on him and something. I don't know.
And what's the venue there? And where can we come up and see it?
It's Campus Jacks is the name of it. It's an afternoon show. It goes from 2 to 5.
That's Russ's gang name, by the way, Campus Jack.
Campus Jack,
Kind of
that's
weird
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you came up in the 70s, into the 80s. Who influenced you as you were learning music?
Bob Dylan?
A bit, yeah.
turns out.
Of course, Bob Dylan a bit, but really the person, kind of the reason I started playing guitar was Chuck Berry.
Sure.
I was watching him when I was a kid before I started playing guitar, but then I went to see the Beatles movie Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
And I just went, okay, I got to do this. So
Because
I
half
went
the
home and
movie
started
was those guys getting chased by girls. That's why. That's why. So listen, first of all, pleasure having you in here. Can't wait to see you at San Diego Music Awards. It's at Humphreys this year, and it'll be terrific to see you accept that. And we're expecting like 10, 15, 20-minute speech, Paul? Is that what we want to see?
At least.
Oh, boy.
How do you encapsulate it all? That's going to be a tough challenge when you have to put it all into one package.
Yeah, it'll be good.
There's a lot of stories you probably
Talk
want to
about
tell.
Captain and Tennille. You got to talk about Osmond.
All your influence.
All your
I don't
influence.
envy your task. That's going to be a tough
Really,
speech
yeah.
to get, to keep it together without getting emotional.
I don't think I'll even say anything. I'll be like Bob Dylan.
Yeah, just that's
Yeah, that's even better. Just stand there and stare. It'll be perfect.
Light a cigarette.
I
Ladies
saw
and
him in
gentlemen.
concert. He didn't say a damn thing.
And he stands so far back from the stage. He almost stands behind the drummer. He's like,
Paul,
"Oh
that
my
was just
God."
your eyesight.
No, I'm telling you. He stands way back.
So that's Jerry Raney.
Yes.
We have Paul Rudy, Burt Grossman. Friday, August 20th the debut of the PPR.
Season 23.
All right, season 23.
Magic.
San Diego Music Awards on August 24th. See Jerry Raney, and of course, the PettyBreakers are going to take us out of here. When's your next gig? When can we come see you guys?
The next local gig will be September 18th at Tierra Santa's 50th anniversary.
There we go. All right, take us out of there. You guys, thanks so much for swinging by. Paul and the PettyBreakers.
Burt Grossman, Jerry Raney.
Take her away with your money and your cocaine. You keep thinking that her mind is gonna change, but I know everything is okay. She's gonna listen to her heart. It's gonna tell her what to do. She might need a lot of loving, but she don't